Good afternoon, everyone. Today I am doing a special video, a collaboration with a bunch of other YouTubers. They will all be listed down in the description box below. It is called One Bag, 5 Dinners. If you are interested in that sort of video, please keep watching.
Can you be cold-hearted when you got that fire burning up inside it? Never running out of love when you get
Here's my one bag for my 5 meals. Okay, what this collaboration is you shop for 1 bag of groceries to make 5 dinners. Really super easy. We're not going to get complicated with it, so we're trying to keep the videos a little shorter versus doing like a cook with me on every single one of them. So we're just going to give you little clips here and there on how to make these. Link all of the recipes down in the description box so you have them, and just give you some idea that you can actually shop for 1 bag of groceries. Just carry 1 bag of groceries up, which I really love, by the way, and cook for 5 days with leftovers too. Guys, here is my 1 bag for 5 dinners. I use one of the Roundy's bags from Pick and Save, so it's a fairly big size bag. This will fit like 2 of the brown grocery bags side by side if you squish them in there. So that's about how big it is. It's nice just having to carry up 1 bag. There's 2 things I added in here that I already had, but they fit. So I got these at Trader Joe's, the squash, which you can buy these at any grocery store. So I just stuck those in there. And then the tortellini also I got at Trader Joe's. So that was added in there. So this is the other stuff that I got for the 5 dinners. We've got some romaine lettuce here for our salads, our taco salad. We have celery. We have peppers. I got the 3-pack because we're going to need at least 2 of these peppers, possibly 3. We got some half and half for our tortellini dish. We got 2 onions. I had onions, but I thought I'd get them because I wanted to make sure I could fit them in the bag. We have some green onions. We have some peas, which I think I'm going to add to the tortellini dish. I haven't decided, but I got them anyhow, just in case. We've got some sour cream. We've got some crescent rolls for our taco bake. We've got cheese for our taco bake and for our tortellini. We've got both the cheddar jack and the Parmesan. A bag of each of those. I'll leave those in there. We've got a shallot. We've got a tomato. We've got some basil. I couldn't find fresh basil, but I wanted it as fresh as possible, so I got the paste basil. I got a 18 or 15 ounce can of crushed tomatoes and a 28 ounce can of crushed tomatoes. And then I've got some fingerling potatoes for our beef stew. And then on the way bottom here, I got some beef cubed meat. So that is all that we have in here for the 5 dinners, but it all fit. It was awesome. Side note too, I also fit some fruit in here, which I took out because you know, they weren't part of my 5 dinners, but I did fit some fruit in here as well. Thing I forgot to show you is I had 2 pounds of the ground turkey breast, but I had them from Trader Joe's, so I had those stuck in there and I took them out to put them back in the freezer and I forgot to put them back in, but they definitely would have fit in here, no problem, because I did have some fruit in here as well. This first one I'm making is a tortellini soup. I found this recipe on another YouTube channel. I'm going to try to look up that YouTube video and link it down below. All I did, like I said in the videos, was I changed up one thing, and that was instead of using like a minced basil, I used fresh basil in there, and it was so good, you guys. This was so good. I didn't show adding the cream and the cheese, but you add that at the very end right before you serve the soup. And I will, like I said, I will link the directions all down below so you can try the soup out. It's really good, and it freezes really good as well. Chopping up some onion, celery, and carrots.
I got you, you got me.
We are too lucky. Emily, your name spells home. Since the day you were born, you have all.
Making dinner. I'm making tortellini soup. It's got 1 minute left in the pressure cooker. All I have in here is chopped onions, chopped carrots, chopped celery, 1 can, 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, 4 cups of chicken broth, and then a bunch of spices. I just got done. Adding this whole package of tortellini. Stir it up. And I'm going to put this on sear. So mine's sear. Yours would be, if you have the Instant Pot, I think it's, I can't remember what the name of it was. But anyway, when you fry it up at the beginning. So I'm going to put that on sear and leave this cook for about 4 minutes. I'm going to let it boil. The chicken tortellini was very good. I will put a link down below as where I found this recipe, if I can find it again. I know I found it on somebody's YouTube channel. And I copied pretty much exactly what she did, except for one thing. I added real basil instead of powdered basil or minced basil. We did get 10 servings. We ate 2, which brings this to 7 smart points. We have the sun out a little bit, guys. Okay, the next meal is going to be my beef stew. I did find this last year, I think, or maybe the year before that, on somebody's YouTube channel. I'm going to link her video down below as well. This beef stew is so good. I do one thing differently, though. I think she uses like a homemade beef broth or something, chicken broth, something like that. But either way, I will link the video down below. It is so delicious, though. It is the best beef stew I think we've ever tried, and I think you guys would really like it.
Tonight we're running on the right track. I know we never gonna look back. Oh, I just wanna have a good time. Call me whatever, 'cause I'm up for anything like that. Oh no, we don't wanna do slow-mo, so tonight we just let go. To the beat in the street, every freak out singing like.
Last step is to add 2 tablespoons of cornstarch in a bowl. Add some chicken broth or beef broth, whatever you have. You can even use water. Mix it up really well. And then dump it in your pot. I put it back on sear and now it's boiling. So I'm going to just dump this inside there and it's going to get nice and stewy thick. Not super thick, but just a little bit of thickness for the stew. This is the beef stew. This is 4 points per bowl. It's about 1.25 cups. And I figured 4 points, there's 4 servings in what I showed you in what we made. The next recipe that I'm making is actually from, I believe it's Skinny Taste. This is the Taco Fiesta Bubble Up. This, guys, was so delicious. This was one of our favorites, and we definitely kept it in our recipe binder to make again and again. The only thing that I did change up was I fried everything together, and she had it in layers where I just put all of the buns down at the bottom and then threw everything on top with the cheese on top of that. It's super easy to throw it together that way, and it tastes the same to me. So I just picked the easier way to do things. And I think you guys will really love this if you try it. And of course, her video is linked down below in the description box as well. Cooking up some DRIZZLE Me Skinny Taco Fiesta Bubble Up Casserole. I do it a little different than she does. I add my peppers and onions right to this because then it doesn't have to cook so long in the oven to get the peppers and onions soft. So I'm cooking that up in here. I put a little bit of taco seasoning in there, and I'm going to add a jar of salsa. These are the rolls that I use, the crescent rolls, and I just cut them this way first, and then I cut them in 4. They are 90 calories reduced fat, which brings the points down a little bit. And then the 3 cheese light blend from Trader Joe's, and just a regular Trader Joe salsa, the fat-free kind. I use that as well. This is how I cut them up, and then I just cut them in 4. That's what the pan looks like. This is an 8x8 pan, and the meat and the peppers and the onions are just about done. I'm going to throw a little bit of garlic in here because we always love garlic in everything. So I'll put a little garlic right in the center here and let it fry up a little bit, and then mix it in. Then I'm going to add my salsa. Here we go. I just am going to let it fry up just a little bit. And I'm using my Pampered Chef Chopper. It's good for so many things, even for eggs or just so many things. I added the salsa. I do add the whole jar. It calls for about 1.25 cups. So I just went ahead and added the whole jar. It's right about 1.25 cups. I covered that with about 1 cup of the Trader Joe shredded blend cheese. And now I'm going to cover it with a piece of tin foil and put it in a 350-degree oven for right around 30 minutes. The next recipe is just a simple taco salad. I make it all of the time. Usually I make it with ground turkey. This time I had some leftover chicken in the fridge, so I just chopped up the chicken and put that in there. Even if I would have had the chicken added, it would have still fit in there. I had plenty of room left in that bag, so it was really awesome that I fit everything in there. What I did was chopped up some romaine lettuce and put some spinach spring mix in there just so we could get a little spinach in there. I warmed up some black beans and corn in a fry pan. No oils or anything. I just warmed those up until they were warm. I put some taco seasoning on my ground turkey, and then I added some onions in there and I cut up some red pepper and had those raw inside the salad. And then we put some sour cream, cilantro on top, and some tortilla strips, and that was really good. That is one of our favorite go-to meals now. And the first time I ever tried it was on Home Chef, and it was a little bit different, but I just kind of copied it and made it my own. So there's really no link to that, but I will put the directions down below in the description box how I make it. And it is so delicious. You guys would really love it. We have dinner tonight. I made diced up chicken, fried it in some taco seasoning. We have tomatoes, romaine lettuce with some spinach spring mix, tablespoon of sour cream, 1 pint of cheese, some beans and corn, and then the tortilla chips, and then tomatoes. I think I mentioned that. And then we have taco sauce on there too. That is dinner tonight. And that is going to be 5 smart points. The next recipe is going to be a turkey and butternut squash chili. Now this is a Home Chef meal. The things that you need in this dish would be a shallot, chili cumin rub, tomato, cilantro, butternut squash cubed, and I use just a real butternut squash. I cube it up myself, or you can, I know they have some fresh pre-cubed butternut squash in the store that you could boil. I usually always boil it first. They say just to fry it in here. I found that was way too tough, and I had to boil it first before I fried it. So I did boil it like you boil potatoes. So I did boil that. And then you need a pound of ground turkey, actually 12 ounces it calls for. And then you need a 15-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, shredded jack cheese, and sour cream. So that was pretty much, we had all of that in my bag to make this. And this is so good, you guys. This was one of our favorites from Home Chef, and there's a close-up picture of it. And it pretty much looks just like that. And I will show you the picture next here of how we made it.
You and I, we're always on the edge. We fight and make love at the same time. Would you break up just because I told you what I did last night? I recall the times you said you're sorry. I'm still not sure if you told lies, but I don't care, it's all forgotten now. when you seem too far away. And you can blame it all.
Thing we're doing is boiling the butternut squash. It's 14 ounces of squash, by the way. I did weigh it. And I am now frying up. It's pretty soft. As you can see, I can poke my fork in it just fine. So now I'm going to get it a little brown by frying it up, and I'm going to add some shallots in here as well. So it did say to reserve some out for the finished dish, so I just reserved enough for, 2 or 3 servings. So I saved that out in the bowl, and I put the rest in with the squash. Added my turkey in the pan after I removed my squash, which I got right here. It's a little bit browning there, which is what you want to see. So now that the squash is done, I added my turkey. I just added the full pound. I added about between a half a teaspoon and a teaspoon of chili powder and cumin, depending on how spicy you like it. If you don't like it real spicy, I'd stick to about a half a teaspoon each. Now that this is pretty much done, I'm going to go ahead and add my squash back in and let that cook together a little bit. Okay, now I'm going to add this can of crushed tomatoes. And then it calls for 1 1/4 cup of water, which I'm going to use chicken broth because I have it handy and I like the chicken broth flavor in here. Yep, so I measured out 1 1/4 cups, and that is right about there, second line down on the can. So I'm going to add that in here. So I'm going to give this a good stir. It says to go ahead and taste the chili to see if you need any more chili powder. I think I do need a little more chili powder. Maybe not so much cumin, but chili powder, yes. Because it's not spicy at all. And I like a little bit of spice to my chili. This is like a squash chili. So I'm going to add a little more chili powder, maybe like half a teaspoon or so. And then this dish is done. I'm going to let it boil, or simmer, I should say, just for a little bit to get a little thicker. And then you're supposed to plate it up or bowl it up and add on top these shallots, some cheese, some shredded cheese, some cilantro, and some tomato and sour cream on top. I'll show you what the finished product looks like. All right, this is our squash chili. Very delicious, and this is what it looks like. We have some tomatoes, some jack cheese, we have cilantro, and then the shallots that we had left over on the top. You guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in seeing more of these, let me know. I will try to work on a few more of these. I really had fun doing this, and it wasn't really that hard. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to share this if you think anybody else may like it. Definitely check out the girls down below in the description box and see what they made. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye!